Welcome back, guys, to another beer review. Apologies, do not adjust your TV sets or even the colour on your phone or your tablet. Yes, I'm bright pink. I've been out in the sun today working, caught the sun, which I was unaware of until I got home. So yeah, I'm back with another beer review, and it's one that I picked up a couple of weeks ago from M&S. I had a lot of vouchers to spend. There's only so much food you can buy, which I tried not to spend too much on that. That's my wife's side. You go and spend some food, I'm going to blow the rest on bloody beer. So yeah, anyway, we went to Broughton in Chester, or just, it's not in Chester, Broughton, Chester way though, if you like. Went to their M&S. A little bit disappointed with the selection they had, but I picked up quite a few. And the beer review coming up is a beer from there, roughly about £2.50 for the beer. And it's from Gower brewery, and they're in Swansea. And this is a bottle of their ale. Ales of outstanding natural. It's called Gower brewery. It's called Gower Power, actually. This is a bottle of their Gower Power ale. Bit of a fuck up there on the start of the video, but yeah, Gower Power ale coming in at 5.5%, 500ml bottle. I do like the label. If you look real closely, I do like the sort of simplicity of it. I like the colours and that. And a slightly different shaped bottle, because they tend to taper, whereas this is more fat at the bottom, long neck on it. Boring you shitless now, probably, no doubt. I do like the bottle cap there. Hopefully you got a bit of focus on there. Looks real cool. Yeah, like I said, they're from Swansea. I've never had nothing from these. I've never heard of them before, but it happened to be a different beer, so I just thought I'd pick one up. So yeah, let's get this open, get it into a glass, see what we get. Hopefully you're enjoying your Friday. Hopefully you've enjoyed the weather today. Hopefully you've had some good weather today. Obviously you can tell old Radish Head has had some good weather. So yeah, no doubt you've had a few beers as well. Quite looking forward to this. Try and do a nice mix of different beers. Quite like an ale. I've got to admit, I like the craft beers and all that lot, but do you know what? When you've had a few craft beers, they do become a bit similar and a bit the same, and I think that's why these sort of ales and bitters and milds and that all went out of fashion, because that was all the thing that you drunk. And then the craft beer sort of scene come along, and there was lots of new beers and new flavours and that, and sort of took off. But I think, you know, maybe for a lot of people it's going the other way now. We need a few more really good quality ales and bitters and milds. So yeah, shut up talking shit now. Beer in a glass. Apologies for boring you. The carbonation in the bottom of that is quite wild. You might be able to see the bubbles there. We've got a nice sort of like copper colour, see-through, finger and a half of pillowy sort of white head. Looks, I suppose, as you'd expect from a normal ale. So let's dive in with that and see what we get. Ooh. Very fruity, floral. For me, citrus notes. Getting some maltiness in there. Yes, it feels quite light, really. Considering it's 5.5%, that's for a typical sort of English ale. That's actually quite strong, I would say. But yeah, it feels quite fruity, floral, like I said, quite light. A little bit hoppy. Smells alright. Smells nice enough. So without further ado, let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. Mixture of flavours in there, really. Quite carbonated for me, which isn't always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. For an ale, this is very carbonated. The body's quite thin, in my opinion, which I'm guessing that's why it's maybe a little bit more carbonated. Yeah, body is very thin. very carbonated. Mouthfeel. It's got the body and the mouthfeel really of a lager. Taste wise, it's quite interesting. It's certainly not bad. It's got a lot going on in the taste wise. In the taste, I should say, not in the taste wise. Taste wise and in the taste, it's got a lot going on. Very malty, very fruity, very floral. There's a sweetness in there. It almost has a feel of a Belgian ale, a little bit, with the fruity floralness of it. A slight sweet stickiness to it as well. Malty. Bit of bitterness in there, a bit of hoppiness in there. There's a lot going on. That bitterness is right on the back end as well. There's a lot going on in it. And I don't want to knock it, but what it does, it all sort of comes back to that typical English ale. And I apologise for saying English ale because this is from Swansea, so it's a Welsh ale. But it all sort of comes back to this typical British ale sort of taste. You've got all the different flavours in there, but nothing sort of lingers. And there's just this typical sort of hop taste, hop bitterness to it that sort of just makes it feel very ordinary for me. Like I said, the body's not great, the mouthfeel's not great. It's probably over-carbonated, personally, for an ale. It's sort of quite soft, but then the carbonation ruins it, because the carbonation is quite fierce in there. Yeah, it's... You pick some different flavours up and then it all just sort of tastes the same. It all just goes back to a typical British ale. There is a slight sweetness in there. There's a little bit, almost a hint of sort of... Yeah, it's almost like a hint of toffee caramel wants to come out, but then the hops and the bitterness just overpower it and it just gets sucked away. It's going to appeal to some people. Well, probably it's going to appeal to a lot of people. If you're a typical sort of ale drinker, British sort of ale drinker, you're probably going to like it. But for me, it's just too similar to a lot of the norm that we get in supermarkets and that. And yeah, it's run-of-the-mill British ale stuff. So for me, it's a little bit of a thumbs down, personally. But if you are a big sort of traditional sort of ale drinker with not too many sort of, I don't know, sort of flavour. I can't say not too many flavours because there's lots going on, but nothing sort of really... like I said, it boils down to a typical British ale. So I'm going to stop repeating myself. For me, it's not awful. It's not something that I couldn't drink, but it's not something that I'd rush out and buy. So yeah, if you've had this before, let me know what you think. I do apologise if I waffled on for too long. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. And that's it for this beer review. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again on another beer review. And I do apologise for all that redness in my face. Cheers.